People of inherent goodness must avoid these 6 things so that their merit endures and their future remains bright. Ladies and gentlemen, in the endless cycle of human life, we all yearn for a peaceful existence, complete blessings, a harmonious family, and prosperous descendants. Yet, as the ancients taught, merit and virtue do not appear by themselves, nor do they disappear on their own. Our mind creates merit, our actions nurture it, and we ourselves can also squander our blessings. If we fail to guard them, a person with natural goodness, like fertile soil where seeds of kindness are sown, will, if neglected, soon become barren. Likewise, if merit is not preserved and cultivated, it will inevitably fade. The ancients advised that to make merit last, one must not only perform good deeds, but also avoid those things that can destroy one's innate goodness. Today, I will share with you 6 things that a person of virtue must absolutely avoid if they wish to maintain their merit for themselves and for future generations. Afterward, we will explore ways to cultivate additional merit, helping life to flourish in tranquility and bringing greater prosperity to our families. Please listen closely. First, excessive greed. The ancients said, "Greed deepens suffering, contentment brings peace." Greed is an insatiable thirst, like a bottomless pit. The more you try to fill it, the deeper it seems to become. A greedy person, no matter how much wealth they amass, never feels satisfied, for desire constantly drives their mind into turmoil and unrest. An old story tells of a Zen master living in solitude high in the mountains. One day, a villager brought him a precious gem and said, "Venerable master, this is my family heirloom. In reverence for your virtue, I offer it to you to benefit all beings." The master accepted the gem but did not keep it for himself. He placed it in a large bowl at the temple gate and wrote, "If anyone needs this gem, please take it." News spread throughout the region of the precious gem in the bowl. Many desired it, but none dared claim it, believing it belonged to the temple and should not be taken. One day, a poor but covetous man crept up, determined to seize the gem. He looked around furtively, grabbed it, and as he fled, he slipped on the stone steps, falling and sustaining serious injuries. When the master emerged, he found the man lying in pain and gently said, "The gem itself harms no one. It is your greed that has harmed you." This story carries a profound message. Material possessions are external and do not inherently bring suffering or happiness. It is the boundless greed within us that creates every misfortune. A person who knows sufficiency has a peaceful mind and a wholesome life. But if greed guides us, not only do we deplete our merit, we also invite calamity. The ancients teach, the one who knows contentment is the richest of all. How do we truly know contentment? It is when we learn to let go, refusing to let material things sway our spirit or to harm others for the sake of desire. Greed is like a small flame. If controlled, it can light the way. If unleashed, it will consume the very merit we possess. Reflect on how many people, driven by greed, have plunged themselves into ruin. Some are wealthy, yet commit wrongdoing to become richer, ultimately paying the price with their reputation or even their lives. Others, once living peacefully, lose everything because they could not resist temptation. Second, anger without cause. The ancients said, when anger arises, 10,000 lifetimes of obstacles are born. Anger not only hurts others, but also scorches our own merit. A fit of rage is like a wildfire. When it flares up, it not only destroys our relationships, but leaves charred ashes in our hearts. Long ago, there was an upright official known for his integrity, but notorious for his temper. Whenever someone displeased him, he would reprimand them harshly, and once even punished an innocent person in a moment of fury. One day, enraged that a villager had tracked mud to his doorstep, he banished the poor man from the village, forcing him to abandon his family and homeland. Years later, in his old age, the official found himself increasingly lonely. His children quarreled, his career had faltered, and his heart bore a nameless sorrow. One night, in a dream, a figure in white appeared and said, "A mind aflame with anger burns away its own merit. Remember, to preserve lasting virtue, one must cultivate compassion, harmony, and forbearance." From that day on, the official transformed completely. He practiced patience, spoke kindly, and placed compassion at the center of every action. Gradually, he observed the change. Familial relationships warmed, his children reconciled, and good fortune returned to his life. Ladies and gentlemen, this tale is a precious lesson. Anger is not only the source of suffering, but the greatest enemy of our merit. When we let rage explode, our words and deeds in that moment wound others like knives. Yet the deeper wound is that we sever our own innate goodness and blessings. The ancients teach, step back, and the sea is vast. Yield a little, and the wind calms. Practice mastering your emotions and maintaining equanimity in the face of adversity. When confronted with dissatisfaction, remind yourself that all things pass. Every time we overcome a surge of anger, we add to our store of virtue. Have you noticed? Gentle and patient people are often beloved and fortunate. That is because they do not let the flame of anger consume their merit. On the contrary, the hot-tempered meet strife and hardship, for each outburst of rage erodes their blessings. Third, speaking malicious words. The ancients said, "Fire comes from the mouth, merit enters through the mouth." Though words are fleeting sounds, their power can be more profound than swords and blades. A kind word can save someone from the depths of suffering, while a malicious one can drive them to despair. Long ago, a farmer in a small village was known for his quick temper and harsh tongue. One day, he scolded a poor old woman who had come begging. "You good-for-nothing. All you do is leech off others and never accomplish anything." Those cruel words cut her to the bone, and a few days later she died alone and heartbroken. The farmer went on with his life as before, but soon his fields failed, his livestock fell ill one by one, his children grew weak, and his family fell into discord. One night, he dreamed of the old woman, who said, "Did you think words had no power? It was your vicious words that brought me suffering, and now you reap what you sowed." Awakening in shock, he resolved to change. From that day on, he spoke kindly, encouraged others, and helped the poor. Gradually, his life transformed. The harvests overflowed, his household found harmony, and blessings returned like a miracle. Words reflect the speaker's heart. Kind words make the mind shine like polished glass and surround life with merit. Malicious words not only wound others, but create heavy bad karma that is hard to dissolve. The ancients taught, words are seeds. What you sow, you will reap. If we sow cruelty, we harvest alienation and resentment. If we sow kindness, we reap love, respect, and abundant blessings. Everyone feels anger at times, but remember that once a word is spoken, it cannot be taken back. The speaker may forget, but the listener never does. Before speaking, ask yourself, will these words hurt anyone? Will they help? If not, remain silent, for sometimes silence itself is a form of kindness. Fourth, harming others. In the worldview of the ancients, harming others never brings a good outcome. They said, if you do good, heaven sees. If you do evil, cause and effect never err. Those who use cunning or deceit to benefit themselves at the expense of others will sooner or later pay the price for their deeds. Once in a small village there lived a renowned hunter whose skill he boasted about constantly. Driven by greed, he set countless traps in the forest so that no creature, large or small, could escape. He not only hunted to feed himself, but also sold game for profit, ignoring villagers' warnings that he was destroying the natural balance. One day, while inspecting his traps, he himself fell into a large snare of his own making. With no one to help him, he lay there for days in agony and despair. When villagers finally found him, he was near death and whispered his last words. It is not only the forest animals who fear traps. I too could not escape the trap woven by my own greed. This story reminds us that every harmful action leaves a trace in the cycle of cause and effect. Whatever we do to others will return to us. As the saying goes, sow wind, reap storm, sow good, reap good. Even small actions can have large consequences. One lie can destroy trust. One selfish act can ruin a relationship. One scheme for personal gain can cause widespread suffering. Such deeds not only harm others, but gradually deplete our own merit. A person of innate goodness must live with integrity and fairness, considering others' welfare rather than pursuing only self-interest. The scriptures teach, If you want lasting blessings, benefit others. If you wish to avoid disaster, harm no one. Placing yourself in others' shoes and abstaining from harm is the way to preserve and grow your innate goodness. Know that though we may hide our actions, the law of cause and effect never errs. Heaven and earth are witness, and our own heart records it all. Living virtuously brings peace in this life and leaves merit for the next. Fifth, turning away from the vulnerable. In life, everyone experiences weakness and needs a helping hand or a compassionate word. If we remain indifferent or cold toward those in need, we close the door on our own merit. A wealthy landowner once lived in great comfort, yet was notoriously stingy. Despite his abundance, he never gave alms or aided the poor. He would say, "I earned my wealth by my own effort. Why should I share with the lazy?" One night, he dreamt he stood before the gates of heaven, which would not open. An angel appeared and said, "You lived in material plenty, but your heart was empty. You left no merit behind. In the next life you will endure the sufferings of those you ignored to learn compassion." Awakening in alarm, he recognized his error. From that day, he opened his heart and hands, giving to the destitute, building bridges, repairing roads, and supporting struggling families. Henceforth, he lived in peace and left a good reputation for his descendants. Merit lies not in how much we have, but in how we use it to benefit others. The vulnerable include not only the poor, but anyone facing hardship, illness, or emotional pain. A simple act, helping an elderly person cross the street, sharing food with a hungry child, or offering sincere encouragement, can increase our blessings. The ancients said, "A morsel given to the hungry is worth more than a feast for the full." Those who show compassion to the weak earn heaven's favor and attract good fortune. If we turn our backs coldly, we not only lose merit, but create karma for the next life, for the law of cause and effect spares no one. When we neglect others' suffering, we too will one day face hardship without a helping hand. Remember that compassion requires no wealth. A poor person who shares what little they have is more precious than a rich miser. People of innate goodness, keep a compassionate heart, learn to love and help the vulnerable, for that is the quickest way to accumulate merit. A person with a kind disposition, living with compassion, not only aids others, but also helps themselves overcome suffering and move toward a life of ease. As the ancients said, "He who gives is the richest of all." Sixth, laziness and sloth. The ancients often warned, diligence can make up for lack of intelligence. Industriousness nurtures blessings. Merit is like water in a pond. If not maintained and replenished, the water will dry up. Laziness is like allowing the pond to run dry, causing one's blessings to wither away. Long ago in a rural village, a herdsman inherited a large herd of cattle from his parents. At first, he diligently led the herd to graze each day. The cattle grew fat, multiplied, and provided him with a comfortable life. Over time, however, he became lazy and let the cattle fend for themselves without proper care. When they grew thin and sickly, instead of taking action to help them, he blamed his misfortune on fate. One by one, his cattle died, and when he finally realized his mistake, he was left with nothing. This story reminds us that laziness not only depletes merit, but also causes us to lose our value in life. Merit is not something to be taken for granted. It must be cultivated through daily effort and diligence. As the ancients said, "Heaven does not forsake the earnest, earth does not harbor the idle." In our lives, laziness manifests not only in neglecting work, but also in how we treat ourselves and our relationships. Being lazy in learning, lazy in cultivating virtue, lazy in caring for family. Such neglect destroys the very goodness we have struggled to build. Those with innate goodness must value time, for it is our most precious resource. A day that passes without cultivating merit causes our blessings to shrink. Use every moment to do good deeds, to learn, and to live meaningfully, for life passes like a shadow through a window, wasted, and all slips away in regret. Diligence not only increases merit, but also brings inner peace. When our hands are busy performing good, our minds have no space for negativity or envy. That steady effort is the key to opening the door to happiness and tranquility. Remember, merit comes from action, not from idle waiting. Those who live diligently and avoid sloth build fulfilling lives with their own hands. Moreover, such industriousness yields not only immediate results, but also lasting blessings for future generations. As the ancients taught, laziness is the mother of all misfortune. Diligence is the father of all blessings. A person of virtue who overcomes laziness and continuously cultivates body and mind will preserve their merit forever. Great merit does not come from afar, but from our own tireless effort. Practical ways to cultivate merit in daily life. Merit does not arise by itself. It accumulates day by day through our thoughts, words, and actions. Daily life is fertile ground for sowing seeds of kindness. Here are 4 practical methods to nurture merit, helping us live peacefully and create lasting value for ourselves and future generations. 1. Perform selfless good deeds. Good deeds need not be grand. They must come from sincere hearts. Helping someone in need, whether materially or emotionally, accumulates merit. The most important aspect is to give without expecting anything in return. Help others simply because it is right. A pure heart naturally draws blessings. 2. Practice gratitude. Be grateful to parents, ancestors, and everyone around you. Gratitude is the foundation of all merit. Gratitude extends beyond remembering those who raised you. It involves appreciating every good thing in your life. Take a moment each day to acknowledge your health, family, and opportunities. Gratitude brings inner peace and spreads positive energy to others. 3. Live simply, save and share. Saving resources shows respect for what you have and for life's opportunities. Saving wisely does not mean being stingy. It means using what you have responsibly and sharing any surplus with the less fortunate. A simple life, free from material excess and willing to help others, naturally accumulates merit and brings inner joy. 4. Learn and improve yourself daily. Merit comes not only from good deeds, but also from personal cultivation. Learning is not limited to knowledge, but includes moral development and treating others kindly. Each day, ask yourself, have I been better today than yesterday? Self-improvement enriches your life and positively influences those around you. Our merit will grow stronger if we perform at least one good deed each day, however small. We live with gratitude and cherish what we have. We share and help those less fortunate. We continually cultivate virtue and wisdom. Merit is an invisible treasure. Only those who live virtuously understand the importance of family education and preserving it. The family plants the seeds of morality, shapes character, and lays the foundation for lifelong goodness. 1. Teach children kindness early. Children are like blank canvases. What we write on them shapes their future. Parents should instill compassion, generosity, and moral values from an early age. Early lessons on doing good, respecting others, and keeping promises form lasting habits. 2. Be a role model at home. Parents are their children's primary example. As the ancients said, when parents are kind, children are filial. Children learn not only from words, but from daily behavior. When parents live honestly, lovingly, forgivingly, and diligently, children naturally follow suit. Negative behaviors can just as easily be passed down. 3. Preserve family traditions. Family tradition comprises the moral values and good customs that guide future generations, preventing them from losing their way in a turbulent world. Preserving tradition means more than observing etiquette. It creates an environment that fosters goodness. When every family member lives in harmony, with respect and responsibility, merit flows through the generations. Life is like a river that flows unceasingly, carrying the seeds of good and evil that we have sown. Merit does not arise or vanish by chance, but is the result of every thought, action, and word. A person of innate goodness who avoids wrongdoing and nurtures virtue will see their blessings grow like a well-watered tree, offering shade and shelter to all. Today, we have explored the 6 things to avoid in order to protect our merit: greed, anger, malicious speech, harming others, abandoning the vulnerable, and laziness, and learned how to cultivate merit in daily life: selfless good deeds, gratitude, simple living and sharing, self-improvement, and strong family values. As the ancients taught, a bright mind brings a bright life. A virtuous person draws great merit. Merit is an invisible asset manifest in peace, happiness, and the good that comes our way. Therefore, live with integrity, avoid wrongdoing, uphold compassion, and spread love. Finally, I wish you inner peace and clarity, a life of serenity and joy. Remember, merit is created by our own deeds, and happiness is maintained by ourselves. Each passing day is an opportunity to plant another seed of goodness and leave a precious legacy for those who follow. Thank you for listening.